What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Marcel Umphery. A lot of y'all know me for real estate. Tonight, I have a special guest, someone who's one of the coolest guys I've met uh, thus far in my city. I feel really blessed and privileged to have this gentleman on the Freedom and Wealth Seekers network on the platform, and it's just been a blessing the last couple of days talking to this gentleman, him sharing the history of the evolution of one of the world's most iconic entertainers and rappers. And I'm here to share his story, Mouse Man, Dana Smith. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, but you will soon get to know. I believe in his message. I also believe in the work he's done in the community uh, since I don't know. Can you take us back, Mouse Man? What caught my attention recently, you were in Wilson Park. I had I have three friends from that neighborhood. You were in a picture with Darvin, who's a local
Oh yeah.
DJ here in Baltimore. And I know that I'm not from that neighborhood, but I know the neighborhood well through those three guys. But I just want you to tell folks who you are, and as we get through this interview, tell folks, what you've been up to.
First of all, I appreciate you, man, for inviting me up here. No doubt. And happy birthday, bro. Happy belated birthday.
Thanks.
I'm
Thanks.
surprised that you are as active right now and spunked up and energized and ready to go right now.
Right.
How was it? How you doing? How are you doing though, by the way? You okay?
Yeah, I'm well, man. Too blessed to
Okay.
be stressed.
Good.
Yeah. I'm
No doubt.
excited.
Okay.
I'm excited. I feel like it's a monumental moment. A lot of
Yeah.
people know your friend as the guy, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, but
Right.
very few people know the backstory,
Right.
the Baltimore story,
Okay.
I believe it originated. They say hip hop originated in I think it was Harlem, I believe. Uh, it was up in New York where hip hop started,
Mhm.
but Baltimore has a really
Some would
big
say the
piece.
Bronx, but
Yeah, the
yeah, a
Bronx.
piece of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
has a piece
a
of it.
big piece. Yeah. Yeah, we like to say we're energized, right? We're inspired, we're energized. And yeah, I definitely appreciate you, man, having me on here. And like I said, we've been talking for a couple days, and good to know a brother like you, a young brother like you, who's doing his thing, positive, and got his head on straight, doing the right things. You know what I mean?
Yes,
'Cause
appreciate that.
Baltimore is a tough town, man. It's tough. It's always been tough. I'm 50 years old, so.
Right.
But we talking about your boy, Tupac Shakur, right? So
Yes.
I met him back in '84, bro. Um, Long story, even longer. um, Roland Park Middle School. He We were in math class, Mrs. G's class. I'll never forget it. And
Hmm.
the scrawny kid comes to the door, stops class and whatever, and she's like, goes to the door, and we like, oh, little scrawny head dude, um, kind of disheveled or whatever
Hmm.
the case, but a new kid, whatever, he comes in, she doesn't introduce him right away. And he sits down, and my friend William Barnes, uses the bathroom. So Pac sits in his seat. Be like, yo, damn, we sitting Will. We used to call him Big Will, right?
Uh-huh.
Fat kid. So he sits in Will's seat. So she's still talking. She didn't even say anything. We like, yo, that's Will's seat.
Right.
William comes in, yo, you in my seat. Pac like a 13-year-old. I don't see your name on this chair. William like, bro, I'm gonna put my name on your face and get off my seat. Miss G comes out. Oh, gentlemen, come on, William, let me meet you after Mr. Shakur. Find another seat. So the first 5 minutes of me meeting this guy, couldn't stand it.
Right.
Couldn't stand him. We yo boy. Who do yo think he is, right? We 13
Mm-hmm.
years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who the hell yo think he is? And so all day they went by. And let me tell you something crazy. His pants were cuffed up. Like, they were too long for him, you could tell. But he
Uh-huh.
had staples in his pants to
Yeah.
cuff his pants up.
Wow.
That was crazy. So we like, oh, look at this bum ass. Everybody like, yo, look at yo, blah blah blah.
Right.
So and we were doing our own thing. We paid him some mind, but not none at all. Brand new kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we were catching the number 8 bus home. And it's crazy because in retrospect, thinking about it, it's like the universe had this plan, bro. And I hate to be all,
No,
cosmic
please.
and all that, but
I believe in that. I believe the
yeah,
universe makes certain things happen. Like
yeah, I got all
we're on
kinds of
this.
stones in my pocket. I let my stones. It was a full moon last night. I left my stones out to get energized last night. You know what I mean?
Wow. We're on this Zoom right now, right? You're about 10
Yeah,
years older than me. You on Pop.
right.
I was born in
Yeah.
81, y'all was 71. I went
Mhm.
to Roland Park.
Wow.
Part of my schooling was at Roland Park for fourth and
Wow.
fifth grade. For fourth and fifth grade.
That's
So
crazy.
it's
So
crazy, man.
yeah. So the buses used to line up out front,
Yep. Right
and
across the street.
yeah. But the 8 was on our side of the street. I
It
think the
was okay.
44 and all of them was on the other side. But
Yeah.
um, and the bus is about to let off, and it stops. Like, well, what's going on? Somebody was running for the bus. This is what I mean about like the universe and divine intervention and all that.
Gotcha.
There's one seat left on the bus, and it was beside me. All right, so you had your book bag on the seat or whatever. Um, and he gets on the bus and stands right beside the seat, like, can I sit here? So mind you, he's about to fight my friend Will. I'm like, this nigga, like,
Did you
all
know he was
right,
from New
yo.
York at the time?
Nah, we didn't know where the hell he was from. We
Okay.
didn't care. We didn't care where the
Yeah.
fuck he was. A new kid, beefing with Will,
Mm.
you know, F yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I take my book bag off the seat and whatever. And like, whatever. I'm looking out the window. I'm talking to somebody in front of me, somebody in back. Just ignoring yo or whatever. So, but the thing back in the day was about getting home, 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
WEBB, WWIN, one of the stations, Rap Attack used to come on, 4
Right.
o'clock. So something in me, and honestly, I wasn't raised a bad kid. My grandparents raised me. I'm
Yep.
from Old York, legendary Old York Road. And I really wasn't raised to be like one of them dudes. So I'm like, yo, you like hip hop? Like, yeah. It's like, 4 o'clock, Rap Attack, come on. And he's like, what's that?
Mm.
So I said, yo, you don't know about the We Rock crew, Chomp City crew? He was like, nah. I'm like, yo, you need to get tuned with that. He
Right.
was like, well, I rap. I was like, for real? And he kicked the rap.
Okay.
Nice as hell. I'm like, whoa, this kid, like, damn, this is crazy.
Right. First day.
First day. But Marcel, it wasn't his rap. It was a Curtis Blow rap. Right?
Okay.
Found out later on.
Okay.
New York, hip hop traveled differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop was around 11 years old. We were
Okay.
13 years old. We're 2 years older than hip hop at the time. And yeah, come to find out it was a Curtis Blow rap. But he knew that shit and he said that shit and it blew my mind. I was like, wow,
Were
it's
you rapping at
crazy.
the time? Were you also rapping?
No, I was
Wow.
beatboxing and
Gotcha.
breakdancing.
Wow.
I would try or whatever the case, but
Mm-hmm.
nah, not really like that. And so it came to stops at a bus stop, around the way.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, let me up. He got up too. Got off the bus. I'm like, yo, you
Crazy.
live around here? And he was like, yeah, I live across the street. I was like, oh, that's what's up. I was like, yo, I see you. Walked home, whatever.
Mm.
Next morning, I got a where he lived on Greenmount. I lived
Yep.
on 41st Street. So, you know, the number 8 would ride through.
Yep.
He would get on the bus before I did because my stop was after his. I'm gonna see him. Never pay y'all no attention. You know what I mean? For the first like week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we had a recreation center, Mullen Rec. And so go to the rec center, you know, finish your homework, go to the rec center. And they had this thing called the bubble, which was like a thing you could climb up the sides, slide down the pole, had the best acoustics. I used to beatbox in the bubble.
Right.
All the drug dealers used to piss in the bubble. It smelled like piss all the time,
Yeah.
but
I've
it
seen that
didn't matter.
place.
It didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Best acoustics in the world, right? I was practicing my beatbox one day, and Tupac's house was right his
Behind it.
backyard. It faced the rec center, Mullen Rec.
Mm-hmm.
And he came over. I was beatboxing, and he kicked that Curtis Blow rhyme again, right? We didn't know it was Curtis Blow,
Mm-hmm.
and he was on time with it, bro. He was, and you know, hip hop was simpler back then as well. Like, you know, like this, y'all, like that, y'all. You don't stop. You know, it was like, you know, MCing was different, and
Right.
um, and shortly after that, man, we became the Eastside crew. That was our link because the rest of my homeboys, I mean, it was breakdancing a little bit, riding bikes, skateboards. But it's crazy when I think of back at it that none of my homeboys really like wanted to rap or like. I mean, we loved hip hop. They loved hip hop, but
Mm-hmm.
um, nobody thought they could do it. I'll put it to you that way. For us, it was like um a voice, you know, for the voiceless, like for young people, like yo, you
Yes.
like you hear what he said, you hear what Run said, like yo, hard times spreading just like the flu. Watch out, homeboy, don't let it get you. Like what? What is going on? Out of control. Hip hop was insane to us, and
Mm-hmm.
we both had that love for it, bro, and we became the East Side crew. You know,
Got you.
that
Got you.
was it.
You tell that story. It's crazy. You know, I'm in the real estate business. In 2013, I renovated a house at York Court. That's right
Okay.
across. So you got Greenmount, and then across
Mm-hmm.
is Guilford, but you have those
Mm-hmm.
townhouses. That's York Court.
Okay.
That's a whole nother world. Like, what was it
Yo,
like?
bro.
Yeah,
Speaking of that, not to cut you off,
yeah.
I did a paper in high school called The Wall
That's what I was
about
about to get to. I was about to ask you a question. What was it like living across the street from multimillionaires? It's crazy. Like, and
bro.
everybody
I wrote
around
a
the
book
country.
report called The Wall, bro.
Yeah,
And
it's a wall
going
right there.
down going down Greenmount or houses, like you can't if
Get in
you're
the
going
community.
from 38th Street up to almost Cold Spring,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot make a left turn.
No, no.
Or coming down, you can't make a right turn.
Yeah,
And
it's one
into
way.
there.
Everything's one way.
Yo, every way. But we used to go trick or treating in Sherwood Gardens.
Yeah,
Sherwood
I was just
Gardens
there today with
had
my son. I just
oh
had my son over there today. Like
all the
because
mansions.
I know y'all was going through there having just visions of
Yo,
what
it
life
was
gonna be
crazy,
like.
bro. Let me tell you, I had a girl drop me off at one of those houses one time. I wish I knew the address, bro. Like, all right. She was like, "You gonna go in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got. I'm making sure you good." Like, I think it was a girl. She went to some private school. I forget the all girl school was
Uh-huh. That's a nice
on.
way to.
Yeah, on like Northern Parkway, Mercy. There's a
Okay.
girl that went to Mercy,
Okay.
and she thought I lived in Sherwood Gardens. Yeah,
That's what's up.
I don't know why I
That's what's
did
up.
that, but,
Yeah,
but
Pot's
yeah, the
house
wall.
was directly across the street from the wall
Hmm.
where he
Yeah,
lived on Greenmount at the time.
yeah.
So y'all met in '84, right? What
Mhm.
y'all started building this relationship? You know, I went to Roland Park, and I remember people transferring in sometimes in the middle of the year, and they had to get adjusted, things of that nature. Pac
Mhm.
being someone coming from a place of poverty, you know, when I went to Roland Park in the early '90s, I
Right.
didn't know anything about Jordans, like Air Jordans. My first
Okay.
pair of Jordans was at Roland Park. So
Wow.
if I came in there wearing some off-brand tennis, they was right. I was getting cracked on every
Wow.
day. Did Pac go
So
through
you
that
had it tough.
transition? Yeah, I
Oh
had it
man,
tough.
Pac had it tough, bro. Like,
But I didn't have it tough coming from a place of poverty. My position was my parents tried to shelter us from the culture. Whereas though you
mhm,
mentioned Run DMC, we had MC Hammer, and my brother was really into hip hop. So he
mhm,
would, I don't know how, he would give the kids at the school money to get the Run DMC albums, and then he would put the cassettes in the MC Hammer
mm,
cases. So our
let's
parents
go.
didn't know he was listening to Chubb
Yeah.
Rock, Run DMC. I totally went the other direction. I was the oldest kid, so they had the most influence on me,
Right,
and
right.
I was not listening to rap music probably up
Okay.
until 90 '94. Like 94 is when
Wow.
I got into rap. Not really got
Okay.
into it.
Yeah, I mean, at that time too, top 40 music was, I mean, me and Pac the same way. We used to listen to uh 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 what's that? What is it called? Dire Straits,
Okay.
Sting, Phil Collins,
Yeah.
No Jacket Required, and also like Gil Scott Heron, like the influences, because I had two grandfathers. One of my grandfathers worked on a cruise ship as a chef, and my other grandfather was a truck driver.
Okay.
So I would get jazz music and, Girl from Ipanema, Stan Getz, and my other grandfather would playing Otis Redding, shit like that. But anyway, Pac used to always get cracked on, bro. Like I have a couple photos I could send you,
Mm-hmm.
where Pac has all my clothes on.
Gotcha.
Like I grew up in a household where nine people lived in the house, basically. My grandmother, my grandfather, my mother,
Right.
my aunt,
Right.
my two uncles. So, we weren't rich or anything, but I had everything I needed, basically. And my uncles were
Mm-hmm.
slinging, up top.
Mm-hmm.
So all I had to do was go to school, go to church.
So so you was
I
that
had everything.
you was that good friend that he really needed.
Yeah, I had everything, bro. Like as
Gotcha.
far as that goes, you know what I mean? Like, so I used to hook him up, like, yo, what you need? Try to help him
Yeah.
get along and telling other homies, like, yo, he cool, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, a clown, yo, blah, blah. Why you keep hanging with yo? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But hip hop, it was that common thing, bro, that we had, that bond. And we used to write every day. It's crazy how he like, bro, we can be famous one day. I just was
Yeah.
like,
He had that vision.
"Mm, whatever, bro.
This is in 80. This
Like,
is in '84. He was saying this, like that first
yeah,
year.
84, 85, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. He was different. He was different, man.
So what was
And
like a
even
typical day, that Mouse Man? Like what was like a typical day? Like y'all went to school. When I
come
was
back
at
home,
you
I had to
come
go do my
home.
homework.
Okay.
And then I was over there. We meet at the rec, at the bubble.
Right. And y'all
And
just
or on
doing
his
music.
back steps. Yeah, we used to play a game like who could write the fastest verse. Like, bro, who could write the fastest? Like, go and time ourselves. This is at 14. That's
Wow.
why people used to be like, yo, I never met somebody who could write so fast. Like, Pac he was doing that since 14, bro. Like
Amazing.
writing a verse, you know what I mean? And then I used to do the beatbox, and I used to hate it because we had a song called Switch It Around, right? So I'd beatbox while he rhymed. And then we would, the hook would be something, switch it around, and he would beatbox and I would rhyme. But the
Mm-hmm.
nigga couldn't beatbox, yo. So I was like, bro, your beatbox whack as
Right.
shit. So my parts, I got the weak ass beatbox. So I'm like, bro, just stop beatboxing. I'm a
Right. Right.
beatbox.
That
And you
wasn't
just
his
rap.
lane.
No, you just rap, bro. But
Mm,
I also have his first recordings as well.
mm-hmm.
And we got songs like "Babies Having Babies." We're real conscious. You know, we had a
Gotcha.
genocide rap. We even think like you talked about Kirk Smoke.
Right.
Um, Greg Smoke later on went to the School of the Arts, and we did a show. We had a rap. Kirk Smoke for mayor rap. You know,
Did y'all meet Greg Smoke at Roland Park? Did
no,
he
we
go
met
there?
Greg. We met Greg at the School of the Arts. Pac
Got
met
you.
him.
Got you.
Yeah, Pac
Because
met
when I was at Roland Park, Kirk Smoke's daughter was there. I didn't even
him.
know.
Okay.
I didn't even, like I said, I didn't know who Tupac was. I didn't know who Greg
Mm-hmm.
was. I learned all this later in life that
Mm-hmm.
his Kirk Smoke's daughter actually had an older brother. Even though they
Okay.
lived in the neighborhood, you just never, I never went down that way
Right.
in the neighborhood.
Oh, you
But
couldn't go past
the
the.
light pole, I couldn't even get out the porch. And the day I get off the porch, and the folks that are just tuning in to this interview, I shared a story on Instagram, and it's out there now. But I met Tupac being somewhere where I shouldn't have been, and he called me a nigga, but he didn't call it. He didn't call me that word in the way that my parents taught me about that word. Like they said, you never say that word, it's bad, this and the third. So when he said it, it confused me because when he said it, he was happy, smiling, and he was like welcoming me into a party. And I'm like, yeah, something ain't right. Like I'm thinking about my parents, like, oh, that's a bad word. Let me get out of here. But but come to find out, Mouse Man, you and Pop, and I think a couple of y'all other homeboys, y'all actually create a. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go like this. Something happened with the mics. But yeah, you
Okay.
guys created an acronym for the for that word, right?
For nigga, yeah, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished.
And then that turned into a song.
Yeah, yeah. 50 niggas. That's what 50 niggas was about. Like, I have the tattoo on my chest. Pac had it on his stomach, and Mopreem, his brother, has it on his arm.
Hmm.
And that was our thing. Like 50 states, we're gonna get a nigga from each state to represent the real G's,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make a difference. We're gonna change the world. And we believed it. We
Yeah.
believed everything I put it to you this way. There's nothing that I've ever thought of that I have not done.
I'm like,
Not one thing.
same way. Like I just came up with the idea. I said, I'm gonna reach out to Tupac's best friend growing up. Either he gonna accept the invitation or he gonna
Mm,
decline it. But what's the worst thing that can happen is you say no. You
right.
know? And I was blessed for you to say yes. And it started like maybe 3-4 years ago. I read
Okay.
this book. This
Yep.
this when I learned about Mouse Man, Dana Smith.
Mm,
And, and I started looking you up back then, and I was like, wow, Pop really had a life here. It wasn't just no stop.
yeah.
He spent a lot of years here. What a lot of people don't realize is that the time he spent in LA when he was with Death Row, that was like a really, really short period of his life.
Yo, that was like 9 months, bro.
Like 9 months. Like he did, like what you just said earlier, like that's what I want to get to, like the youth. Like, even though my parents kept rap from me, songs like Brenda's Got a Baby, that hit.
Right.
I was listening to that.
And
Every
that was a real story, bro. There was an article in the New York Times. I forget what we were doing in New York at the time, and it was a story that developed in like 3 days about this missing kid, and then they found the baby, and then it was crazy. So that was a real story. Crazy part about that is when the record company released that song, Pac was pissed. We were all pissed because we were like, why that song? Like, We had better songs than that. It was the best thing you could have did.
I used to watch that all day on jukebox. Like we would
Mm-hmm.
wait, you had to order a song on jukebox.
Right.
They play that song like 3 to 5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's part of our culture. Like I wanted to touch on that, like the word nigga, the older demographic, people that are 10 years older than you,
Mm-hmm.
they hate that word, right?
Right.
I grew up, all my peers, all my friends that were Black,
Mm-hmm.
they said it.
Right.
It was
A term of endearment. It was good.
And the first time I experienced that, I was 88, 89. I was between 8 and 9 years old. Pac hit me with that.
Right.
And it shocked me, but that was like, oh, it's another world out here.
Right.
This is the world past the light pole that my parents were trying to shelter me from. And
yeah, you can't blame them though either.
Yeah, you can't. We just we're gonna work through these technical difficulties.
Right, we back.
We can't, right?
We can't what?
We can't blame them. And I can only speak through my lens because I only had my parents between the age of 12 and 15.
Wow.
So I can't really, I never had grown-up conversations with them, right? So as a grown man now, through my lens, I could see the fear they had.
Oh, absolutely.
With the way the culture was moving and the way their culture moved, with music and how drug use was accepted in their day when they were younger.
Yeah.
So they probably thought something like that was going to happen with us, our generation.
Right.
And it kind of did. And we could have a conversation, but
yeah.
I don't want to go too far off of what y'all did, though. The impact Mouse Man, Tupac Shakur, your group had on the culture, not just in Baltimore, not just around the country, but worldwide. Like, people see Tupac, but it's also people behind Tupac that assisted him in his ascension to fame.
Through the journey. Yeah. But basically, man, it's from boys to men, man. Like, I mean, I wish, we had a mentor or somebody guiding us through it because, at 21, you're doing movies, 22, 20, nobody's showing us the way. We're kids. And that's what you got to look at. That's what I try to tell some people, like, yo, he was a kid. Like, all of the bad decisions and like, what were you doing at 21, 22 years old, right? Not half of that. And imagine you had that on your plate. Like, how would you have handled it? You don't even know, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, but a message I would give to the kids, bro, is like, yo, be yourself. You are enough, man, and there's nothing that you can't do besides. I mean, I would say, I mean, if you want to be the president, you can. But you can do it if you put your mind to it and you have a plan. I tell grown folks this as well. Yo, you could knock it out, man. Time is gonna go by so fast, but you got to concentrate on what you need to do and get it done. You know what I mean? People make it hard, and I understand the circumstances you might be in, or if you need help, get it. Ask people, like, you gotta, if somebody's your friend, hey, I deserve shit from you. Not from you, but I expect things from you if you're my friend.
Yeah.
Not like monetary things or whatever, but if you're my friend, support me, help me. Like, if I'm trying to do something, you know what I mean? Like, yo, put my stuff on your page too, or whatever, however, help me. Let's do this. You know what I mean?
They always say, like the people that's gonna support you, they not gonna be your friend. And that's a fact.
Right. That's the truth. Like, it's sad but true.
I built a business outside of my real estate business, and most of the people that come to my seminars or buy my informational products are from out of state or people I didn't grow up with.
Right.
That's just a fact. One thing y'all did, right, that you said earlier, y'all spent hours writing, and Pop really came from nothing. He didn't have a lot of money behind him back then in the 80s. Y'all were able, and this is from what I read as well, y'all were able to get into different competitions, from doing endorsements for political figures in the city, like Mayor Smoke. Y'all, can you talk about that experience? Like, y'all were using other people's platforms back then to get y'all voices heard and y'all talents out there. Can you?
Right, bro. Any competition, bro, it was people who, like, it got to the point where we had fans in the neighborhood. We had people like, yo, they got a rap we're not Pratt. We found that at school, but with different things, people would let us know, like, bro, this is going on, or yo, that's going on. We had a dude named Roger that lives on Cater too. His brother or uncle or somebody was Virgil Sims with Sleeping Bag Records.
Okay.
And they got us, we did a show with Mantronics, Cherry Hill Recreation Center. Like, it was just about being out there, bro, and saying, yo, we'll do it. Like, with Kirk Smoke, like, oh, you need a rap for you? Always doing a show. Like, my dad's doing a show, Greg saying, oh, yo, we could rap. Like, can we do it? Like, we were excited about doing whatever, man. We would rap for the drug dealers up top for a few dollars. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it was about, bro. We were so excited about this hip hop thing, man, that it consumed us.
Gotcha.
That's all we thought about. It wasn't even, we would think about chicks every now and again, little girls or whatever, but it was about hip hop. But hip hop got us girls, but it got us girls though too.
Absolutely. Growing up for me, man, it was like, we didn't rap. Like, I didn't know as a teenager Tupac was in Baltimore. I didn't learn that until I probably got to college. So growing up, we was all trying to be like, in my neighborhood, like Michael Jordan.
Okay. So the basketball route.
Basketball route.
And Baltimore is a basketball, city.
Yeah. I got some friends that went to Dunbar with Tupac.
Okay.
And, they said that he was kind of like off to himself. He ain't had the best outfits. He said he wasn't worried about no basketball. So he wasn't in the in crowd. The in crowd was basketball guys, football guys.
Yeah, Pac couldn't play basketball or football if he tried.
Right.
And did not care. When I said didn't care, like, yo, did not care about that.
Yeah, that wasn't
at all. He tried to run faster than you, but he was there, 2 left feet with everything. I used to play him and Setchua, 2 against 1 basketball, kill him. But it was fun. But yeah, we try to get into everything we could, bro. And at the time too, there was a war going on between Old York and McCabe at the time too, which is crazy. And people were dying, man. And that's why we had genocide raps and, of course, babies having babies. But being conscious, I mean, that was the Panther blood he had in him. You know what I mean? Like, he taught me about, Asada and, Geronimo, different things that I didn't know about that stuff. You know what I mean?
So let me get this right, Mouse Man. Y'all growing up in this neighborhood in the 80s, trying to build this rap business up. And it's a war in the neighborhood during this time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that's like out of state that don't know Baltimore, like McCabe, I'm familiar with Old York. McCabe is not far. Like, that's in walking distance.
Yeah. Yeah, and they would drive down a one-way street. I don't know why. We were kids.
Yeah.
But there's over 15, 20 people that have been died because of it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
In my neighborhood, you know, you hear the mayor, you know, you hear the mayor lived on my street. It's a street just like McCabe and Old York.
Mm-hmm.
It's two streets, you know, Ridgewood and Oakford on the
Mm-hmm.
in my neighborhood. That's generations of
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
generations. And
Mm-hmm.
you hear about this stuff, and I've lost friends on both sides.
Right.
It's
Crazy,
crazy.
bro.
People I grew up with, you know, that's just Baltimore for you. So
Yeah.
y'all survived that. Like we survived that, right? When Pop was here in the 8th grade, he came, y'all met in the 8th grade? Was that the 8th?
Yeah. Yeah.
So 9th, 10th, he was here for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. He left around
11th grade.
around 11th grade, man.
So when he went up to school for the arts, where did you go?
I went to Northern, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't have it no other way. I had to go to Northern.
And y'all stayed connected throughout.
Yeah, we still lived around the way. So,
Yeah.
and then I would come to the School of Arts too and met his friends. That's when we became born busy. That's when we hooked up with Darren Bassfield and Gerard. We had a battle. We battled them at the Bros Arts Ball and wore their asses out.
Yeah.
But they was tight. And Gerard had DJ equipment. He was like you, a Huxtable boy, and he was Theo, right? So, and then Darren was nice with it too, with as far as rapping.
Yeah.
And that's when we became Born Busy. And yeah, the rest is history. That's who wrote the book back in the day, was Darren.
Yeah.
I helped him with that.
Who's Gerard? Who's Gerard?
Gerard his photo is in there. He's a DJ. Gerard lives up in New York now.
I know who he is. I'm friends with his brother, Carlo.
Okay.
Right. And I heard a lot of stories about Pop because I told his brother about the same story when I met him. He said that sounds like Pop. But bro, this is the crazy thing. Pop, like he inspired me.
Right.
His life really inspired me because my life went from Huxtable to, they called us the Huxtables. They also called me and my brother Carlton from Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, right.
But the crazy thing is, and as you know, the universe, life, God has a plan. All that, like, you could be doing very well in your career or in life, and then it could just go a whole nother direction.
Absolutely.
So when I turned 12, my mom passed away unexpectedly.
That's crazy.
Got sick within 8 months, she had passed away.
That's crazy.
And then 3 years later, my dad passes away.
That's crazy. So 12, 13, 14, 15.
Right. So we went from
wow.
Not being able to go past the light pole to now we venturing out into the neighborhood.
Right.
That they were trying to keep us away from. Now we venturing.
Now you're a part of it. You're a part of it.
Yeah, and through that course of time, my brother and I both went through the juvenile justice system.
Wow.
Just in that quick period of time.
Yeah.
So life took a whole nother direction.
Right.
It was peaches and cream in the beginning, and then but like you, my grandmother stepped in, she raised us the best way you out. And I feel like that's my brother and I always say she saved our life, like, because we were going in totally different directions.
Wow.
And, it's a blessing, man. It's just a blessing. But
absolutely, yeah. Thank God for that.
Yeah. So those 4 years, man, that's when and that's it really goes into like his talent. Like, he was already talented, but I feel like Baltimore gave him kind of a structure for his career because when he went to school.
Yeah, like I said, my boy DB and I call it his years of development, focus, and purpose. Like those years, bro, he honed his skills in those years. I mean, he grew, of course, when he went out west, but him leaving so sudden, all of a sudden, I'm leaving, going to California. And then within that year, he calls me like, bro, I'm gonna be on the Arsenio Hall show. I'm like, get the fuck, you ain't gonna be on the Arsenio. It's like, yo, for real, I'm gonna be on Arsenio. I'm like, doing what?
Right.
You know, he's like, oh, I'm dancing for, you know, Digital Underground. I'm like, dude, dancing?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you ballerina or something? I thought you took drama at the School of the Arts, nigga. You ballet
The
dancer?
artist, I don't know what to oh, man. You seen it?
He was like, nah, bro. Nigga, I seen it that night. Yo, I couldn't believe it. I called my mother. I'm like, Ma, look, Pac doing it. I'm like, wow.
This like 1990, right? Is this like 1989, 90?
89, yeah, going into the 90, early part of 90, if so.
Gotcha.
A month later after that, yeah, would you say mention me and
Tupac mentioned you through a lot of his songs.
Oh yeah.
And you
so then a couple months later, he called me like, bro, I got a record deal. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, I want you to come out here. I'm like, bro, I'm still in school, man. Like, and he came to visit and with Digital, and they were on tour with Public Enemy and all that, and that was dope. And he was doing his dance. We got us in the show, did that. And he left me a cassette tape. Like, bro, this is what I'm working on. I need you to come out here. Like, bro, my grandmother ain't let me come out there, bro. I'm like,
right, you still a kid.
Yo, it's not happening, bro.
Grandma said the shackles on us back in the day.
Yo, it ain't happening.
Mouse man, you have a lot of records behind you. I'm not very knowledgeable in the music industry, but I do know what a platinum album looks like, a silver album. See, I'm not even well versed in the music industry. I just said the music inspired me, man. It'd be late nights.
Right.
It'd be late nights when I'm building. I started my business when I was 24 years old.
Okay.
While I was at Morgan State University, it'd be late nights. I'm doing work and I'm listening to All Eyes on Me. I'm listening to Me Against the World. I'm listening to Dear Mama, thinking about my mother and my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Like, and that's crazy you said that. But the reason when my grandmother passed away, and that's what gave me the strength to go out to Cali.
Wow.
I was like, I had to do it. I'm like, grandma gone. And then you see the family fighting over furniture. You know, they acting a way I've never seen them act before, right? Big Mama gone.
Your family.
My family.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Oh yeah.
I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Out the woodworks.
Oh my God. It was crazy, bro.
I've seen that in the real estate business. I've dealt with families, a lot of different families over the last 20 years. And it gets a little complicated when people pass away and things aren't in order. Yeah. So you went out to Cali with Pac. So he went out to Sausalito. Now that's the crazy thing. Like, I've been out there, right?
He was in Marin.
Marin, that's outside of Sausalito.
Yeah, outside of
like $1 million
community. Yeah. So and Marin, they call Marin the jungle.
Right. So he's kind of back in the same situation
that
Baltimore in.
Yeah.
Across the street was the $1 million neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And now he's in Marin City. And you out there.
It's crazy. Yeah, his mother had a houseboat after he passed in Sausalito, which is crazy.
When she passed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
but, so I went out there. He wasn't in Marin, he was in Oakland.
Okay.
When then he got his deal, and I think Shaq and them were living in Oakland. So we was in MacArthur Boulevard, right up from the Lake Merritt. And I just moved out there, bro. And the rest is what it was. It was crazy because even the slang, I've never been anywhere else. Like, I would go to walk to the store, see this dude. I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm like, what the fuck you want to be up? I'm like, whoa. Can't say what's up. Like, what the hell going on? It was a different language. It was different everything. So, I got why Pac, the hard exterior or appearing to want to be hard or you know, you had to be different.
Yeah,
It was a different, you know, it's not where you from, it's where you at. You know, it's
absolutely.
new shit going on. So,
You
but
talk
we did the same thing that we did when we was in B-more, basically, like rhymes
exactly.
and try to do the thing. Yeah,
Creative.
yeah.
I want to go back into that. So y'all talked about not having mentors, right? When y'all were writing and creating these themes, these storylines in y'all music, where did y'all, and you mentioned Phil Collins, some other artists,
Mm.
where did y'all get y'all inspiration from, like, to start creating, to write Black Cotton, to write, you know, Nigga? Like,
Right.
where did that come from? You mentioned Public Enemy, Run DMC. Were they like y'all mentors that y'all never knew in regards to
Yeah,
art?
well, hip hop raised me. There's a documentary and things of me and New Level, a company working on. It's called What Hip Hop Taught Me. So hip hop did basically raise us, bro. It's like we grew up in an era of not wanting to be like, you know, you be like somebody you biting, right? So, but trying to definitely stay conscious of and knowing like, damn, kids need guidance. Kids need inspiration, right? So, and by him having, you know, Panther blood running through his veins, he can't help but to do that, right? That's going to be a part of it.
Yes.
But then also, all my niggas, like, bro, they need it. You see them. They hardcore as they want to be, but a lot of them hurting, right? A lot of them got pain inside. A lot of them can't read, ain't got no love coming from nowhere, can't trust nobody. They
I'm,
need it.
I'm having an aha moment right now because when Pac started the Thug Life movement, I don't know if you had a hand in that as well.
Yeah, the
I was
hate
in
you
middle school.
gave.
I was in middle school. Had lost my mom. My dad was going through substance abuse. You know, he was fighting that,
Mm-hmm.
like many of my other friends in the neighborhood and outside and at school. So I never did it, but about 5 or 6 of my friends took erasers and eraser burned Thug Life
Mm-hmm.
across their stomachs.
Mm-hmm.
I know they weren't the only kids in the United States doing that. I know it was kids all over the country doing
Mm-hmm.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Pac came from very humble beginnings, but his voice impacted many. Like, it
Yeah, it's
wasn't
the feeling, bro. It's the
it wasn't
feeling.
just a gangster rap. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
People
But
weren't Eraser burning NWA on their stomach. No shot at
yeah,
NWA. They epic, right? But
yeah,
Pac hit a heartbeat in the youth.
yeah. It was a feeling, bro.
It was a feeling. I felt it that day I met him. I didn't know what it
Mm-hmm.
was though. He had this energy. You felt it. I think
Yeah,
you
the
felt it
spirit.
like us. His
Yeah, the
spirit
spirit.
it was abundance.
Yeah,
It was an abundant spirit that was a welcoming. He wanted to see you win. He
right,
wanted everybody to win. And a
right.
lot of people say that was his demise, that he wanted everybody to win at all costs.
Yeah,
But man, what y'all did, man, is historic. And it needs to be this Baltimore movement that happened when he came here, that those 4 years, you know, you were a big part of that.
right. And that's what I hate. Yeah, Darren. Yeah, I hate the whole. Every time they come, you know, through Baltimore, they just skip everything
Yeah, they
and go
went
to
to gangster
Jada.
life and
Well, they go to Jada, the puppy love,
yeah, they
which
talk
really,
about that.
which really wasn't even puppy. It wasn't none of that.
Yeah,
And then Death Row.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. They skip Old York and Cater. Like
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
a lot of his rhymes were
that's my
about
block.
things that are going on in his communities that he lived in.
Yeah,
He saw on a day to day.
absolutely,
His,
absolutely.
I hate to say it, his mom was getting high in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
And he wrote about that.
yeah. His mom and my mom, they hung out.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like, that was life for a lot of us growing up. You know, it's a lot of people that want to be successful in life. You know, it's a lot of people that want, the key word want,
Yeah.
but they don't understand that it's sacrifices that have to be made. And one thing I could say about you, one thing I could say about Tupac is that y'all never got comfortable. It was
Yeah,
always,
you
y'all was always working.
well, you can't, bro. That's the part that people don't understand. Is like if you ever had something and had something that same thing taken away from you,
Mhm.
you understand that, right? Um, and at the same time, it's like it's about opportunities, and when you have those opportunities, you can't take them for granted. There was a thing at a young age, we thought we wouldn't make it to see 21, right? So when we made it to 21, it's like, okay, and that's why Pac talked about death a lot.
He did.
For the young black male, it's like we don't live that long. So, bro, we're gonna go hard.
Yes.
We're not gonna take no days off. We're gonna work harder than the rest of these motherfuckers who partying, and I mean, we're gonna have a good time. But Thanksgiving, Christmas, bro, we're in the studio.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? 10 songs was $150,000 every month. We go to Interscope like, yo, here we go.
This is
They
before
like,
the death
oh,
review, right? This is before death.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They like, nope, we don't like such. That's why Pac had so many songs, bro. You know, and we get them done quick. We did a song every day, bro. Every day. There was something coming out of the studio. So that's why after his death, man, there's still shit that I was talking to Mo Preem the other day. We were talking about it. Like, man, so much stuff that is still unreleased. That because they're kind of fucking up his legacy over there at the estate, and that's a whole nother thing. We talked about that off,
Yeah.
personally how crazy that is. But yeah, man, it's like wanting it, and I don't know. Have you ever heard of Eckhart Tolle?
No.
Eckhart Tolle is a guy who talks about like the awakening of now, right? Like if you come at life at like right now is the only time that you have, and taking advantage of that time, and understanding everything within that time and space, um, and appreciating it. I mean, you gotta appreciate every part of life, man, from breathing to being able to walk and talk, and like you have no idea, like I said, until it's taken away from you.
Right.
It's like, wow,
Right.
I can't walk it, or I can't do the most simplest things in life that most people probably, would die inside from not being able to like to walk to the door or
Yeah.
answer the phone or to just sit down and eat a meal or whatever the case may be. It's like taking those things for granted. Also, like his stepfather, Matulu Shakur. Matulu had 65 years.
Yeah.
And he tried to help, Matulu tried to help out as much as he could. At the time, he was in Lompoc Federal Prison, and he got locked up. I mean, Matulu was a doctor, Dr. Shakur, and his stepfather, Mo Preem's dad, Sechua's dad, and he would cure brothers from heroin through acupuncture, bro. Like serious dude. So he would call wherever we are at. Most of the time, we accepted, the phone call, and he would. And then one time, I remember that I talked to him about. I said, Mr. Shakur, like he sent us to get packages, care packages for him.
Yeah.
So the first house we went to was a white couple. Like, man. Second house.
This is in Baltimore?
No, this is in Oakland.
Okay.
Second house we went to, Spanish couple.
Yeah.
Next house, another white couple. Then a black couple, black couple, black couple. Then another white couple. I'm like, I'm confused.
There was no internet. There's no internet back then.
He gave it. We wrote down the addresses he told us on the phone.
Right.
Next day he called, and everybody, hey, what's up, pops? So it was my turn to talk to him, and I'm like, hey, what's up? What up? I said, I'm confused. He's like, what's going on here, brother? I said, look, man. I said, I thought y'all were the Black Panthers. Like, what's this white couple and this Spanish couple? Like, I don't understand. What's going on?
Right.
He said, what you mean you don't understand what's going on? I said, I thought this was the Black Panthers. Like, what's these white people doing? Like, and I've held on to this my entire life. He said, look, man, there's only two types of people in this world. Good folks and assholes. I don't care what color they are. And he said, well, the jig is up for me. He said, that first couple? He said their name. I said, yeah. He said, oh, well, they worked at the motor vehicle. They got us fake license and IDs. That Spanish couple? Oh, yeah. They owned a U-Haul company. Sometimes we would do a job and jump into the back of their U-Haul truck. Mm-hmm. That third couple? Yeah. And he told me
wow.
At the levels, the levels that they would help to get things done.
Yeah.
And they weren't Black, but they knew that Black people were being treated unfairly.
Yes.
And they did their parts. So I never forgot that, man. Good folks and assholes.
Yeah.
Color don't matter. Because if you think about it, like, probably Black people have probably done the worst shit to me than white people have ever done to me. Like physically.
I gotta say the same thing.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good folks and assholes.
In my life.
In my life as well.
If growing up
in my life as well.
In Baltimore, predominantly Black city, I mean.
Right. So I've always looked at things like, that stuck with me out of out. That's it. No matter what color you are, either you're cool or you're not.
And what you just said, I've heard before. I've heard Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. It was white people helping with the movements.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X was radical in the beginning, but when he got enlightened, he saw like,
oh yeah,
hey,
yeah,
they helping too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm seeing things change in my lifetime. I feel like things are beginning to, people are awake, like both sides now. Like it's clear, like it's been a divide.
Yeah.
And things are beginning to move in a direction where there will be one day, I believe, some equality at some point. Hopefully it's in my son's lifetime.
Man.
But I have this argument. I'm not going to say the name. It was a radio personality. I mean, she's known. And I say, if Tupac was alive today, I believe he had enough influence and impact. He could have ran for president and probably been successful at some point. That's my belief.
Yeah, I think definitely.
He had the charisma.
Definitely mayor of somewhere.
Yeah, definitely mayor.
Definitely mayor of somewhere. I could definitely see that. But they would have tried to kill him, more than I know. Because I know enough of that to know that, even when we were out there doing our thing, man, it would be crazy things. Like I said, his bloodline and where he's from, man.
Yeah.
Some weird things that went on that, as far as, it had to be governmental or something.
Yeah,
that's how the shit was powerful, man. Like
his voice, I never forget. I saw a lot of people probably haven't seen that footage of him speaking at the. It was an event. What's the guy's name?
It was like a lunch and dinner type thing.
Yeah.
That he was talking. It was like a panel. It was a panel. I think
Muhammad spoke.
Farad dude was there, was it?
Yeah, he was there. But I'm not just speaking on that. Like Tupac, to me that day, he was angry.
Oh, he was showing his ass that day.
He was angry that day. So his message wasn't crystal clear like it was during the Marcus Garvey speech.
Yeah, that was different
Marcus
too.
Garvey speech was crystal clear.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to put an image of that in this interview when we edit this. But the one you're speaking of, that panel, that you could, he had the frustration of your entire generation built in him.
But I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why too, because him growing up in it and still not seeing the change, right? You're in front of that's when they started the New African Panthers.
Yeah.
And in there were people that's been, along for the ride, for the struggle for so long, that ain't really doing shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you have this fame in this area of civil rights and being an activist and this, that, and the other, but you're not doing shit for real.
Passing the baton.
You're not doing
like
shit.
Pac said, you ain't sharing the knowledge.
You're not doing shit, bro.
And
that's the crazy part. But everybody looks at you like you this big fit in their realm of things. It's like,
so I felt him so much because I felt, and it's crazy. We're gonna go deeper in this conversation. When I got into real estate in 2002, it was only 2 other people that looked like me in the networks that I was circling, and they were older than me, but they didn't share the information.
That's crazy, bro.
And Pac said it at the Marcus Garvey. He said, and what you just said, y'all here now, y'all arrived, but you forgot about the guys in the hood.
Right.
Forgot about the people in the ghetto. In my situation, I wasn't born in the ghetto, but my life, all my friends that grew up in the ghetto, guess what? They didn't have their mother or their father.
Right.
I was just like them.
Yeah.
So I'm out here trying to figure out how to get to the highest level.
Exactly. Right.
Because growing up Black in a middle class neighborhood, you still in a ghetto.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you this. When Old York, bro, up top, when my grandparents moved up there, that was the shit. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't war going on and shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But it was all by design. They brought that community down.
Well, Harry Wilson Sr., right? Wilson Park. He was a Black guy that owned all that. And he had to fight with City Hall to even, it was a red line district up there. That was by the stadium, Memorial Stadium. And he had to fight for Black folks to even live in that area. So a lot of people that moved up there came from, like my grandparents, from the projects. And now they have front backyards, and you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't all that. It was I remember when the police used to walk through the neighborhood, spinning their stick, people sweeping the fronts, and it used to be until, the crack era hit.
Yep.
And then shit changed, you know what I mean?
Pac got a verse, I think. He said, crack rocked us. I think he said those words, when crack rocked us. Like, you don't understand the impact. Like, when you hear crack they automatically think the ghetto.
But I think about the song Changes for me.
Okay.
That's the shit. Because both Black and white smoke crack tonight. Like, we got to learn how to heal each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Be real with each other. Like, that changes, bro. And which is crazy that Bruce Hornsby, that's just the way it is, was one of our favorite songs as kids. You know what I mean? And we always said, bro, we're going to use that. And we did it. Like, there's nothing that we've ever said that we didn't do. I mean, and we didn't live long enough for a lot of this shit to happen, but I just think about if, he lived to be 30, like, with the shit, what would we say that we would fucking do?
Right.
Like, what would the ideas be that we would do? Because we did everything we said we would do. So what would it be? What would the ideas be? You know what I mean?
I think
Right.
Pop would have, like my hope, like you see a lot of the rappers now, and because I'm in this business world, operating as a real estate entrepreneur, you see Jay-Z talking
Right.
about investments. Nas has been talking about it. People just weren't hearing it back in the
Nah,
day.
cleaned up, bro.
I heard Pop was a huge Nas fan.
Yeah,
That first album drop, they say Pop was
yeah.
listening to that joint over and over.
All day, man. And he squashed the beef. He squashed the beef they had before he
Yeah,
passed too.
that's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's up. I just feel like he would have been in this day and age, like seeing a Jay-Z evolve,
Yeah.
and now he's talking more, he's rapping more socially conscious, more about building wealth. Like y'all
Yeah.
just didn't have that information. Like our culture really, and I feel like Pac had a huge part in this shift that's taking place today.
Yeah.
The culture moving forward, like when people say that our culture's moving forward, like we're building things now. In the
Yeah.
80s, it was about, in the 90s, it was more destruction.
Yeah.
We in the 2020s, like
Yeah. Well, we never,
people are building.
yeah. Well, like Biggie, like the hard, we never thought hip hop would make it this far. But at the same time too, we never. It's still new because like Jay-Z's 50 something and doing an album. We've never seen that.
Yeah.
Like the shit we're still looking at some shit because hip hop is still young, but we've never seen what we're seeing now. So it's out of control.
Your grandmother, she passed when you were younger. My grandmother just passed. She passed in 2020. She was 96.
Wow.
She said,
God bless her, man. Whew.
She saved my life. She said we haven't had a leader like President Obama since Dr. King and Malcolm X. That's one of the pieces of wisdom she shared with me.
Right.
But I look at, and a lot of my peers growing up, we looked at our leaders were Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, and I feel today like if you think about, and I ain't gonna give everybody a history lesson, but if you think about Frederick Douglass, right?
Right.
Harriet Tubman, and you got Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and other mega Evers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Martin Luther King at this moment, and I'm gonna relate that to Tupac in a way, right? Martin Luther King, he got massive attention on the civil rights movement during this event in several of his events, his demonstrations, but Selma, Alabama. When they put the cameras on the hatred and the racism in Southern white America towards blacks, when they filmed that Bloody Sunday.
Yeah.
They filmed it. So America couldn't just brush it under the door anymore. Right? Martin Luther King was given, he got the blueprint from somebody else, but he used media to amplify his voice and his messaging.
Right.
Tupac did the same thing. Eazy-E said it. Ice Cube said it. We reporting what's going on in the hood that they're not showing on the news. Jay-Z and these rappers, like, I feel as though music is the strongest form of media that has ever been created.
Yeah.
It's timeless. Pop, Dear Mama, Brenda's Got a Baby, that's timeless records.
Right. Real shit.
Some of the records y'all did.
Yeah.
Timeless records, like, for generations. Like my son, he's 4. I said, do you know who this is? I showed him a picture of Tupac today. He said, no. I said, Tupac Shakur. That's like the Michael Jordan of rap music. He said,
right.
He knows like who Michael Jordan is. So he knows like, so, and it was
that's dope.
His cousin was in there. She's 18. She knows who Tupac is.
Right. That's crazy.
Pac is on
Pac's been gone for 25 years.
25 years before she was born. She listens to his music. She's 18.
Right.
So, you know, that impact that he had, man,
yeah. Well, that's his thing. He may not change the world, but I can spark the brain that can change the world.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's
what it's about. Yeah, that's what it's about.
89.
Yeah.
And he sparked many others. And
man,
if there's anything else you want to share, man, please do. Any upcoming projects?
Yeah, well, we're trying to do a bunch of stuff, man. We got some stuff going on with Enoch Pratt. I'm trying to do this Born Busy documentary. It's basically done.
Yeah. I've seen
but
some.
we're trying to do it in the right way, you know. And that's it, man. Dealing with the Tupac Foundation, and we've talked about that as well, but I'm not even gonna get into that. But
I got a question for you, right?
Hopefully things will work out. But Born Busy project coming soon. We're trying to get that to you.
Okay. I got a question. Was Pac supposed to play in Baby Boy? Was that his role?
Supposedly Baby Boy, but definitely I'm kind of sure, but not sure of that. Definitely Menace to Society.
Oh yeah, we know about that.
He's supposed to play Sharif, but supposedly John.
That wasn't him. He was old dog.
But they were trying to diversify his portfolio. Is what was going on with that. I think it would have became something a little bit more than
it did if he was in it. Yeah, he was a big name.
Yeah.
But you know what though, man? That kind of gave Lorenz Tate. That's how the universe. You said it earlier. The universe works.
It worked out.
Ways that gave Lorenz.
I couldn't have seen nobody else playing that but Lorenz.
Yeah, he killed that role.
Yeah.
And look where he is today. Like that showed his range.
Even Tyrese with Baby Boy though.
Yeah.
He
killed that role, man.
Yeah.
But we both know Pac would have carried both of those roles.
No, he definitely would have.
He would have carried.
He definitely would have. Lord save us all if he would have been in Menace. If he would have been O-Dog. Lord have mercy.
The one film, a lot of people I really saw his range. We paying homage to Pac right now. We're honoring Pac. His birthday's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Gridlock.
Yeah, Gridlock was a shit, bro. And I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about that. I didn't watch that. I just not too long watched that.
You did. I know you. That was a pleasant surprise.
Yo,
I know that
just not too long.
That
shit was. But Pac don't act really, bro. He don't even act. It's just different. It's different sides of just who the fuck he is, bro. It's crazy.
A heroin addict in that film.
Different side of just who the fuck he was. He was a weed head. Same thing.
And he played
same thing
to a T.
But he was just himself, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even explain how he does the shit that he did. But definitely a talent that we've never seen.
Let's go into some of this though, because the people want to know. I know the people want to know. Like we talked a lot about the Baltimore stuff. Everybody knows about LA, right? But the movie sets, poetic justice. We've heard about Janet Jackson stories, things of that nature. But you were there for some of this. Juice was epic.
And Janet, well, the motherfucking poetic justice stuff, bro. Woo.
Yeah, great film.
I've seen Janet Jackson every day for 3 months. That's all I'm gonna say to you, man.
Right.
And we talking about Jackson with the braids, Janet.
Absolutely.
Like, woo.
And you met Maya Angelou too.
Met Maya Angelou. We met a lot of people. The crazy part at the time, and in retrospect, thinking about it, a lot of people were trying to give Pac some game. When it came to things, right? But you know, can't see the forest from the trees, all that type of thing, right? Because
20 some years
but
old, it's going over your
but
head.
yeah, that's what I'm telling you. When you're in it, you're thinking, oh, they don't understand, or they don't,
Yes.
you know, but they did understand.
I wish I'd have known you 20
They
years
did
ago,
understand.
because what you telling me, I had an OG. We always had OGs.
Hmm.
OGs, they offer game. It ain't the slick dude, you know,
Right,
it's the person that's willing to give you information to help to make your life easier than theirs.
right, right,
And I had a couple OGs, and I'm 21, I'm fiery. I'm like, man, I'm getting this money. This is what it is.
right,
I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all old.
right.
I know what's working now. But now I'm older. I'm like, I should have listened to him 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're in that position now. And then what I've seen you doing is you're giving game to the younger folks, like your son, like the other folks that probably are coming to
Yeah,
you.
you got to, bro. And they could take it or leave it at the end of the
Yeah.
day, but slowly is the fastest way to get to where you need to be. Trust me.
Because this thing goes fast.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you was just 20 something with Pop and Ella and Poetic Justice, and now you 50. Like, you know how fast it goes.
Yo, it's crazy. That's why I'm trying to go to Australia in September. I got some.
Janet looking
Hmm?
finer than she was back then.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you. But yeah, hopefully we can get some things done, man. Like I said, and help these kids in whatever way we can. Shout out to my homie Dewad, who's got my father's plan up in Old York.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, they got the neighborhood looking right. He just started like an after school program. He has like a small building over there, but he does but it's like a little rec center. You know, they got pool table and they got places where the kids could study and do their thing.
Yeah.
If they need help with whatever. So yeah, shout out to My Father's Plan. You know, if anybody want to donate, myfathersplan.com and help, you know, donate and help and help Dewad. Definitely, he's doing a good thing in that neighborhood. Definitely salute him, yeah, for that.
He grew up with Pac as well.
Yeah, Dewad, he'll tell you a story. Dewad used to be like, man, fuck all that. And to this day, he'd be like, man, I should have been with y'all, man. He's like, I feel so bad, bro. But Dewad's he's doing a good thing though now. But you know, back in the day, he didn't want to, man, fuck that, man. I ain't doing it, you know.
That was the universe though. That was.
And he'll tell you this day, like, bro, I ain't got, man, I fucked that.
Listen, we all got stories like that, man. We all got stories like
but
that.
at least he admitted too, you know, and he's doing, like I said, he's doing a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what's up, brother. Man, Mouse Man, this has been a blessing.
Absolutely. Hey, we gotta do it again, man. You know, we gotta do it again. Because I think there's still some stuff we need to cover. We didn't. We kind of.
Yeah, we did. We kind of
got into a flow and went all over the place. But hopefully, maybe we can get a
outline. This is the first one.
Yeah, add a little bit of structure to it and get, you know. So maybe, you know, hopefully there's some things you can use and make it make sense, you know.
Right. I mean, it might come out okay. I feel like it went good.
Yeah, I think it went well. It's just like us talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Like any other time, but if you need a little bit more structured, or you know, do you want to end it a certain type of way? You want to do an ending?
Really, I want people to really understand, like, the example that Tupac gave us. He really got it out the mud from scratch. Right. Nothing was given to him. Nothing was handed to him. There were people put in his life, like Mouse Man, Dana Smith, that were blessings to help position him to soar. And we all get those type of people. And they need to be appreciated, celebrated. And Pac did that he put you in a lot of songs, you in his music videos.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But also the example of what hard work, dedication, consistency, and the importance of having a vision.
Yeah.
And whatever you do in life, you could be baking cookies.
Absolutely.
But you gotta know if you ain't working on baking them cookies every day, it ain't taking off.
Right.
And another message I got from this, and you confirmed it, was if we have information, we have to give it to the younger generation.
Absolutely. They don't know, bro.
Who
They
the next
have no
Tupac
idea.
Shakur is. We don't know who somebody's coming. And
Yeah.
I'm saying Tupac Shakur because it could be the Tupac Shakur that's going to be the next Ben Carson in heart or brain surgery. It could be the Tupac Shakur in the real estate game. It could be the Tupac Shakur
Right.
in the sports business. Whatever. Like we don't get a lot of Tupac. We didn't get a lot of Michael Jackson. We didn't get a lot of Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
Only one Tupac.
Right, yeah. But also there's only one you too, right? So if you can help inspire somebody or my grandmother used to say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all, right? It only takes a moment, man, of your day to do that, man, or say, hey, good job, or keep doing what you're doing. Like you said, plan it out, bro. It ain't gonna be an easy road, right? Try to be prepared, not surprised, whatever happens. But I'm a firm believer in there's nothing that you can't accomplish and do. You got the internet now. You could study abroad. I've just seen a thing where you could study abroad for free, like by going through these things, yeah. Try to be inspired. I know it's hard to be inspired, but try to keep yourself inspired, man. Ain't nothing you can't do out here. You can do it, man.
And being open-minded and having that abundant mindset mentality that Mouse Man and Tupac had. Like Mouse Man, I was just thinking about this. Like, if you didn't offer your seat, you might not have gotten that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, real shit.
You wouldn't be here today, potentially.
Real shit.
He probably wouldn't have dealt with you.
Yeah, real shit.
Or if you just said, "Oh, he's getting off on this spot," and just you chill back, like, I ain't getting off today because I don't want to deal with you.
Right.
You want to never know he lived around the corner.
Or smack the shit out of you. Like, yo, you
hey, because you was from that mob too. You from that mob. And back in the, that's what happened to dudes, though. That's what really happens to dudes in Baltimore. Like, you might get hit upside your head. Like, you could have carried it a whole nother, it could have just been a other situation, man.
Right.
I'm glad you was a part.
Yeah, we blame grandma for that. Grandma did that.
Yeah, you was raised right. I was raised by my grandmother too. Most important years of my life.
Yeah.
Shout out Darren Keith Bashfield.
Yes, indeed. That's the homie.
Like, let me tell y'all, these dudes are real dudes. Like, when you hear about somebody, they say real nigga, this, that, and the third. There's so many different meanings to that in our world. But when I say these guys are real, after reading this book, I read this book in one day, Mouse Man. I said, this is the best book I've ever read about somebody's life, right? I reached out to Darren. I found his phone number. I went on the internet, found him, hit him up. He returned my call. Like, within 24 hours. We had like an hour to 2 hour conversation, and we had another 3-4 hour conversation about Pac's life in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Same thing with you. So when they say Tupac was real, these are the people he grew up with. Like, he was around real dudes.
Right.
They don't have to be in the street. Yeah, we know Tupac rode with some street dudes, but he rode with some genuine dudes. They hard to find.
Yeah.
They hard to find.
Yeah. And we'll knock a nigga out, like I said.
Yeah, and it was real.
In Marin City, you know what I'm saying? Dudes supposed to pack up.
Yeah, you was the guy. If y'all saw
Yeah.
the movie, this is the guy that knocked the guy. You knocked the guy out. You knock him out.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I'll
knocked
send you the clip. They talk about it. The Outlaws talk about it.
Yeah,
On
I saw
Vlad.
that. I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I
They're
got
like
the
the
guy.
littlest dude with his mouth knocked him out. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I
So,
saw.
yeah,
I
it
saw
was
that.
real.
The
It was
Outlaws,
real.
they talk great about Pop. He
Mhm.
was in a picture in New York with one of the, I think one or two of the Outlaws
Yeah, yeah.
up in Harlem, and that's like he said, like it's a whole nother story to Pop. I heard about the New York trips. We
Yeah.
catch up.
Yeah.
With the ladies.
We're gonna catch up, man. We're gonna make it. We gotta make it happen again, bro.
Definitely.
We got to.
Definitely. A lot of energy, Mouse Man. A lot of energy. Take care, brother. I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right. God bless you, man. Peace, bro.